Let's build a commercial general contracting website that floods your calendar 24/7 with qualified leads. We are about to build a lead machine that floods your calendar with qualified commercial leads. This is your weapon, right? So when we build this right, which we're about to, this literally becomes a non-stop qualification machine, right? That separates the tire kickers from the serious buyers. You don't want all these tire kickers reaching out to you and wasting your time, and you spend 4 to 6 weeks estimating their job and they had a budget of $20,000 when the job is $500,000, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. So when you're done watching this video, right, and what we do with your website, it's gonna make all the high value leads, right, the prospects, the people that are about to hire you, feel like they've already started working with you before they even contact you or fill out your form or whatever, right? So we're gonna make every swipe earn trust, right? So they scroll for 60 to 90 seconds on your homepage and they say, this is the team that I want to do my project. Can you imagine waking up to 5 new commercial leads that came from your website, and they're all in the back of their mind, and the way they're filling out your forms and the way they get on those first intake calls with you, they already know in their subconscious that they want you to do their project, nobody else, because of your website. That's what I'm about to break down for you in this video. Let's keep going. Okay, so my first point for you to understand is we want to, if you can read that, keep everything on the homepage. You want to make your homepage a scrollable experience that is high converting, right? You want to build belief, the qualifications, needs to build momentum, right? I see a lot of different people building their homepage where it's like a welcome mat, but then they expect the audience of their website to click every button, and they just know that they should click the menu bar and click all these other buttons and make them find the information and do the work. Imagine just keeping it as a flowable, scrollable, high converting, valuable experience that qualifies you as an amazing commercial general contractor as they scroll down one scroll. All I gotta do is this. Everyone does this all day long, every day on TikTok, right? They're gonna come to your website and they're gonna do the same thing unless they don't have thumbs. This is your pitch deck. This is your proof. This is your entire marketing process compressed into one clean, compelling experience. So it should have a punchy headline that says who you are and what you build, crystal clear list of project categories that you specialize in, because you want them to say, yes, this is exactly what I need. They do animal clinics. They list it out, animal clinics. Yes, I build airplane hangars as a developer, and I come to their website and they say, we build airplane hangars. That's the first trigger in their brain that's gonna be like, dude, these guys could be it. Then they're gonna keep scrolling. A clean list of high quality images from your past projects, a stack of powerful video testimonials from your past clients, high quality photos or videos of you and your team, because this is what helps them feel like they already know your team before the first call. This is the goal. You want them to feel like they know you and they like you and they trust you before they even call you, because this lowers their buying resistance and it builds trust before your first call with them. And then it's also helpful, a graphic, this is optional, I guess, that maps out your process visually, right? Like, how do you handle each type of project delivery method? How do you do design build? If they have drawings, if they don't have drawings, stuff like that. I found that a lot of success when I used to put that on J-Lane Construction website. It was great, right? Because what this does is it helps them see them moving forward with you. So another optional one, but a really good one, is to have a section explaining the client experience and what it's gonna be like working with you, right? And then also your core values, right? And an embedded contact form leading to Structur, or if you're not on the Structurverse, then the CRM of your choice. But Structur is by far the best CRM and project management and financial management and company operations management tool, literally everything your construction business needs, all in one platform. So make it scrollable, make your homepage strategic, tell the story of who you are and how you help the customer. Every scroll down the homepage should earn more trust and bring them closer to a decision of hiring you and your company. My next point is to display your phone number and contact button so they're always one click away. You don't want to make people have to dig to reach you, right? That's kind of like one of my main points in this video. Your phone number should be so big, so bold, and locked to the top of every page, especially on mobile. If your nav bar is there, have the phone number even in your nav bar and have it locked. Or if it's a banner, like at the top, have it, when you scroll, have it stay at the top so everything scrolls so they see your number the whole time. So at any point when they decide to call you, boom, they see your number. They're ready to go when they decided to make that call. Or, of course, also to fill out the contact button, right? If you have a form, like a Structur form that you've embedded, which you can do that in Structur. If you don't know, if you're living under a rock, you could literally go into Structur, use the embed form feature, paste that on your website, and then all your new leads will just flow into your Structur leads area in your pipeline as a new lead. So you want to make this super obvious. It's an obvious choice to reach out to you. Next, we want to showcase your capabilities so the right clients come running. You don't want to keep it vague, right? You're not going to do that. You're here building your epic website for commercial general contracting to attract serious clients, right? And that means showing them exactly what types of projects you specialize in. We want to talk about your capabilities. What do you do? Because the goal here is they should see your list, like I mentioned earlier, and say, this is exactly what we need. This contractor does what we need. Why wouldn't we get a bid from him? So if you're a commercial GC and you do these things, here's just like, a couple things these are things I used to put on J-Lane Construction of stuff like we do multifamily, we do self-storage, trucking facilities. Anderson Trucking Service remodeled their office, right? It was awesome. They're one of the biggest, they're $1 billion company, billion plus. Anyway, I'm not talking about me here. Let's move on. What's important about this is this isn't just a list, it's a filter, right? So hopefully when a bathroom renovation, I would still get tons of kitchens and bathrooms and residential, contacts reaching out, trying to get me to do their jobs. But we're hoping to filter the leads that fill out your form so you're not just getting a ton of bull crap. So when the right clients see it, they know you've done it before. When the wrong ones see it, they move on. At least that's the goal, right? And that is exactly what you want. Okay, my next point is to feature a wall of video testimonials. If you are not collecting video testimonials for your past projects, it needs to be a part of your closeout process. If you have an SOP for closing out jobs, and every time your project manager is closing out a job, or if you're the project manager and you're closing out a job, request that Google review. Tell you what, I'm gonna give you a script. Check this out. Go ahead and screenshot this or something, drag this into an SOP within Structur so your team can actually just at the end of every project, copy and paste this. Hey, so glad you loved the final project. That's what we strive for. Your feedback online really helps us grow. It means a whole lot to us if you do spend a few moments, quick 5-star Google review. It really means a lot to us. Thanks so much. Your name. Here's the link. Go to your Google business profile, grab the link, paste it into this template, and then give it to your team within Structur SOP that they can go and just copy and paste for every closeout. You're welcome. And don't just use one, build a full stack of them, right? Show real clients from real projects talking about your communication, your execution, your results. And it's important to talk about what the project was, right? Make sure they mention what the project was within the video, and then showcase B-roll clips. There's A-roll and there's B-roll. A-roll is like me right now, I'm talking to you. B-roll would be like if I put something over top of this, but you can still hear me talking, right? So the point here is that the more proof that you can stack, the faster trust is built on your website. I know it's awkward asking your clients for reviews. I mean, it's like, hey, can I stick a camera in your face and film you saying stuff? It's like, they might have anxiety about that. They may not want to be on camera. I've done a lot of corporate projects where they don't even allow cameras in the building, let alone their logo on anything or a testimonial video. That would never do that, right? So I get it. You can't make it happen on every single project, but you should always ask every single project. Even if it's just a simple camera, bring a little mic or hire a little film crew. Just at the end of the job, just bring the camera crew out there and make it happen. And by the way, if you're in Systems Accelerator, which is my coaching program where I help you put in a bunch of systems, if you want to know more about that, you can look at the link in the description and in the first comment. So if you're in the program, make sure to ask me for this, but I have a whole sheet that literally is an outline for when you actually you click record. It's well, what do you ask the client? There's a list of 7 to 12 different questions that you can ask them. The next point, as far as your commercial general contracting company, is you want to drop your past client logos, right? So this is, if you're a residential contractor, this isn't going to apply to you. This is a commercial general contracting website video, but social proof grenades. You want to drop them the past client logos. Okay, what do I mean by that? You want to show people on your website who you've already worked with. Like, I did a job for Pepsi. I put the Pepsi logo on my website, right? I put every client's logo that I've done website. If I did work for the city of Jacksonville, I'm going to go ahead and put the city of Jacksonville's logo on my past client logo display and like a grid, right? It's a wall of client logos. It's going to do some heavy lifting for you, right? It's credibility. It gives people confidence, and it subtly says, hey, person viewing our website, you're not the first. You won't be the last. We've done this before for brands that you might even recognize, because their brain is going to say, if they trust you, then I probably can too. Even if they're just like developers you've worked with, brokers you've worked with, property groups, other developers know these property management groups, these brokers, people know people, right? So if you put their logos on your website, obviously with their permission, then they're going to recognize it. Or franchise clients that have multiple, you know, like if you put Dunkin' Donuts on your website, look who we are, past clients, you know. And here is a really, really hot tip. If you have a YouTube video or a client testimonial or anything that's related to that job, that's tied to that logo, you can make your website designer make that logo clickable so they can dig deeper. Every logo is an asset, so treat it like one. Very cool tip there. Hope you take advantage of that. We want to showcase our past work with intention, right? So it's not just a random photo dump. We want to curate 5 to 10 very powerful images. Hire a professional photographer, by the way, one that is used to capturing real estate. We want a photographer that understands how real estate is captured, and they're able to get the right lighting and edit the photo and maybe add a fake sky or like whatever, like make the project look like, oh, boom, just creme de la creme, just beautiful. Now here is the biggest point that I've ever made on any of my YouTube videos. Ready? Don't just use your iPhone, and especially not an Android, okay? If you have an Android and you're taking photos of your projects, you can click off this video right now. I'm just kidding. You can stay, but I hope you get an iPhone soon. So you want to use a who we are section that makes them want to work with you before the first call. So you want to use this section to tell your future clients exactly who you are and how you operate and why they'll love working with you. Keep it short, keep it sharp, load it up with confidence, because essentially, you know, you need to answer one question. Why should someone trust you with a 6, 7, or 8 or 9 figure project, right? So you want to tell them where you're based and what kind of work do you do, reinforce your team, your processes, and your obsession with communication, because that's so super important. You want to highlight what it's like working with you. You're organized, you're responsive, you're just locked into the project, right? You can even drop a quick mention of your systems, like, hey, we use Structur software to, you can feel free to put Structur on your website. Be like, we have the tech, we have the SOPs, because those things equal confidence, right? Confidence that they can hire you and their job is going to get done well. It's going to get done with quality and they're not going to have problems. Here's a quick example. If you want to pause and read that, feel free. But it's short, it's clean, there's no fluff, just enough to make them think, that is the team that I want running my project. This is the whole point. Now, when you introduce your team, you want to introduce them, right? Like photos of them, videos of them, like you're pitching a $10 million contract. Your client doesn't just hire a company, they hire people, right? And that's why your team section, right? Be like, hey, just it could be called our team. It should feel less like an org chart, right? And more like a handshake, okay? Sharp, professional photos, smiling faces, clear job titles. Here's our COO. Here's our project manager. Here's our superintendent. Here's our concrete guy. I'm just kidding. Don't put your concrete guy in there. This shows them who they're actually going to be interacting with, because then they can start seeing themselves, who they're going to be talking to. They can start seeing them in the shoes of your future client. That's the whole thing. This builds familiarity with you and them before you even know who they are. They're building familiarity with you. They're being familiar. They're getting familiar with you, right? It lowers resistance when you go to close the deal, and it creates immediate trust. Okay, then if you really want to take this to the next level, you could add a short, like 60 to 90 second video for each key team member. What do they do? When will the client interact with them, right? And what they care about on a job. Now, a big thing here, man, is like, let their personality come through. And if you're doing video, let your, like me, like you know, I try to be as me as possible. This is literally me. Like there's nothing me about not me. You know what I mean? There's nothing not me about this. Like you're not trying to impress with your corporate lingo. You're trying to connect, because if you watch my like phases of marketing video, you can see that relationships are at the core. They're the road that your marketing rolls on to get new projects. You want to connect with people. That's the whole point. When your client, your potential client, lands on your website and they see the team that they're going to be working with, not just a logo or stock images. Get those stock images off your website, man. I see way too many contractors. Honestly, like this is the biggest thing, the biggest turnoff is a bunch of stock images. You really gotta get those stock images off your website. This will change everything. They're gonna feel like they're not just shopping contractors, they're gonna feel like they've already started the relationship. This is like the most exciting thing. That's exactly how you win before your first meeting with this lead. So when people land on your website, they're not just looking at your projects, they're subconsciously asking one question. Can I trust these guys with my money, with my project? They're investing in this project. How do you prove to them that you can trust them? Well, spoiler alert, social proof, but don't just tell them, prove it. How do you prove it? Drop visual proof all over your webpage, not buried in some awards tab. Screenshots of articles you've been featured in, top contractor or fastest growing awards or badges, photos of any awards you've won, right? Recognition from national rankings, local business journals, trade associations, your Better Business Bureau A+ accreditation badge that keeps up to date every single day. It's like a thing you can get from them to embed on your website. Easy to do. Anything that signals third-party trust, other people saying, yeah, these people are trustworthy, they're awesome, I'd highly recommend them. Make it visual, make it unavoidable. It's not about showing off, it's about removing doubt. Every time a client sees that you've been recognized by someone else, their perceived risk drops, your price becomes easier to justify, and the trust factor skyrockets. If you're 400 grand and everyone else is 350, they might still go with you because of all the trust that you've built, not just on your website. I mean, that's where it's all living, but in all your interactions with them and just who you are. But it's just make sure it's all displayed on your website. Don't hide this stuff in your footer, right? Put it in between sections of your website, right? You can see here, blah, blah, blah. You're not just another contractor. You are the contractor people trust, talk about, and recommend. This is going to close the gap for you. Now we want to write a mission statement that feels like a commitment. A lot of mission statements are just noise, right? But I want yours to hit like a promise to them. It's one sharp sentence or 3 sentences. Tell people exactly who you serve, what you stand for, and the level you deliver on from kickoff to project closeout, right? As an example, the mission for J-Lane Construction is to be the GC of choice for commercial and multifamily construction projects. Our commitment is to ensure that each and every one of our clients receives the highest level of communication, technology, honesty, and quality before, during, and after each project. Quickly copy and paste to that. There's a couple of commas missing. You get the idea. Really just make this a commitment and post it on your website in a nice section. One really amazing thing that you could put on your website is to show the steps in the journey of them becoming your client and what happens next using a simple graphic, right? So you could call it something like Our Processes, that explains the process of each of your project delivery methods. So if they have drawings, what happens? You estimate it, whatever. If you don't have drawings, what happens? How do we do design build? Map out a couple of your processes. I wanted to pull up just a quick example to show you what I'm even talking about, like standard construction contract, process 1, right? Estimate the drawings. Orange signifies the contract that we do permit, construction, projects complete. Process number 2, our conceptual phase, and then design build. We do a design build contract, then we design, permit, construction, project complete. Then if we have design, then build, it looks like this, right? So essentially that's what I'm talking about. That's an example of how you could list out a couple process graphics that simply explain how you handle projects and what your process is, because then when clients see the process, they can visualize what's going to happen next, which makes them feel so much more comfortable when they can actually have a visual of what's going to happen after they sign the contract, that you know what you're doing, and they can see that end result of the green project complete at the end. you're welcome. Hey, by the way, if you're liking this video, click the like button and leave a comment. Thanks. So now we want to list out the project types that we build, and we want to prove it with photos, right? We want a headline, right, of different project types. You could say multi-family projects. You could say commercial ground up. You could say tenant improvements. You can have these different kind of categories across your website as you're scrolling. And then you have the project photos and everything, or a video or whatever that go along with that type under that heading. Now here's a little hack. If you drop email addresses in the right places, and I know this video is getting a little long, and if you're still here, good for you, because there's some gold coming up. So just stick with me here. Not everyone is going to fill out a form, okay? Some people just need a way to get what they need quickly, right? And if you're smart, you'll use that to your advantage. So one thing I used to do with my website was I would put jesse@jlane.com or whatever right under my CEO's statement, right? If you want to reach me directly, boom. This positions you as the kind of leader who cares and is reachable. Now here's a big point. Some clients might already have a full permit ready set of drawings that just need pricing. Don't make them jump through hoops. If they want to fill out your form, that's great. And you can get on, you can do your process, but drop a line somewhere that says, already have drawings, email them directly to estimating@yourcompany.com. Then you have a Google group or whatever. If you use Google, you can create groups, and whoever you put in that group can get the email to that, so it doesn't just go to one place. Or you could also just set up a specific email just for this. That's you know, there's two ways to skin the cat there. Then every time someone emails, it's just a quick email. They'll be like, you know what, I don't have time to do this whole fill this whole form out. Boom, then you're getting emails with drawings in your inbox, right? Okay, so here's a really cool one, optional but cool. Okay, build a client onboarding page that screams, we've done this before. What do I mean by this? Nothing kills trust faster than silence after the contract is signed. And clients might be a little concerned, like, okay, once I sign the contract, what actually happens? And if you have a page that you can send them with a simple onboarding explanation, it eliminates any fear that they would have, right? So it shows the clients that there is a process, there's a flow, there's a system, you're not winging it, you're leading it. You are the one leading this process, right? So this page tells them exactly what happens in the first 7 days or 2 weeks or whatever you want to say. You communicate what they can expect during the job, what you need from them to keep it moving, right? So it just eliminates any confusion or doubt on their part. It prevents fires before it starts. It sets you apart from every other GC that says we'll be in touch. Nobody, you know, I mean, Jay Lane, I did this, but a lot of other contractors are not doing this. They're not making an effort to build the client experience, right? And onboarding is a huge part of the client experience. And you could use this as a sales tactic. Even before you sign the contract, you can send your clients to this page, be like, hey, here's our proposal. And by the way, here's our onboarding page. Like, you know, if you decide to sign our contract and work with us, this is what it's going to look like working with us. And it really just gives them that clear visual, right? We want a CEO's statement that builds trust before you ever get on the phone, right? We don't want to sell buzzwords. We want to build a no BS CEO statement, right? If you're the CEO, then you should get on your website and write something up. And in Structur, CEO statements, an optional, you know, form field that you can actually, there's a whole section on proposals for the CEO statement. You can write it in there too, as well as on your website. So it's kind of double reinforced, right? There's a real person running this company. This is what it makes clear, right? And they know exactly what they're doing. Don't make it fluffy. Don't make it corporate. Make it trust building, power move. Here's who we are. Here's how we operate. And here's what you can expect. Call out what you specialize in. Reinforce your standards that you hold your team to, and set expectations of how you run your projects, right? And then sign it with your name and your photo right there on the homepage, as well as your proposals. Structur allows you to do that. We want to then add an FAQ section, and we're almost done. Thanks for sticking with me here, and you're welcome for all this valuable information. You know, click the like button. But we want to add an FAQ section that handles objections before they even come up. This is what a strong FAQ section does. It removes any hesitation because there's objections, right? It keeps serious leads moving forward. It makes you look like you've got everything dialed in, because you do. It handles objections before they even have to ask you, right? How long have you been in business? Where's your office? What's your license number? Are you fully licensed and insured? How many employees do you have? What is your typical project size? You get the idea. You can read these things here. okay? And then yeah, we give ballpark pricing. We can definitely give ballpark pricing with the Structur ballpark feature, which makes it a breeze. Okay, next, add a client experience section that makes them feel like they've already hired the right team. So different than client onboarding, this is a section typically on your homepage. The onboarding is typically a separate page, not on your homepage, but the client experience section, I definitely recommend putting it on the client homepage. So essentially what we're doing here, we want to tell them they have direct access to their project manager, right? The person who can answer questions, solve problems, keep everything on track. And hey, now that I've like sold Jalen Construction and not even running it at all anymore, I'm literally just giving all my sauce to you guys like on this YouTube channel. And I'm also giving all my sauce to my coaching clients and Systems Accelerator. If you're interested in learning more about Systems Accelerator, getting all the systems built out for your construction business, check the link in the description. Would love to talk to you about Systems Accelerator, help you dial in your company. You want to explain how they'll get updates, the progress photos, the daily logs in Structur, talking about your standards, your clean job sites, your clear communication. If you don't curse, if you do, don't write this. But no chaos, because you have all your systems dialed in, your crew shows up like pros, and you honor your deadlines, you pay attention to details, and you take ownership before, during, and after. Okay, here's a little example. You could pause, you could read this, you could screenshot it, feel free. And I promise we're almost getting done here, but these are the things that you've got to have on your website. And if you don't have all of these things, it's okay ultimately, but the more you have, the better chances that you're gonna get uber qualified leads, endless uber qualified leads. That's what we're doing all this. You're watching this video, you're putting the time in, you know, however long this video is at this point, you're spending this time. That's why we're doing this. Just a reminder that we're gonna get you epic, awesome, endless bucket. Not a bucket, a river. Rivers don't really stop. You know what I mean? It's like they just keep moving, man. That's what we're gonna do, is build an endless river of flowing leads into your pocket. We want to put your core values on your website, front and center. We really want this to mean something, right? Don't just say, we care about quality. Say, we don't close out jobs until the punch list is down to 0. That's our standard. Don't just say, we believe in communication. Say, you'll get a progress update every day, no matter what. Even if nothing changed, we will still show up in your inbox. So it's not just, we believe, you know, communication is a core value. This hits hard. You know, it's just like, this is actually exactly what we're gonna do, right? Your core values are how you earn trust before you earn the job, right? These are what separates you from every low bid general contractor out there. So write them like you mean them, make them clear, make them real, and put them where your future client, your prospects, these leads, can't miss them on your homepage. That's what I'm saying. Not all of these things that I've gone through are on your homepage, like the onboarding thing, that's a separate page. But, you know, I talked about the homepage stuff at the beginning of this video, but, you know, you want to have as much as possible on your homepage, but, you know, it's up to you. If you can add a what sets us apart, and again, all these different sections, they don't need to be real long. Some of them are just like, let me show you my core values thing real quick. For example, the core values, this is just an example of our core values that I had on Jalen Construction. People can click in here, they can read it. Okay, I'm gonna go back. You can see how simple that was. It's just a little section. That's all we're talking about here. Okay, so for this what sets us apart section, we want to make it, you know, so you don't just sound like every other GC. You want to talk about your systems, your speed, your structure, your results. And if you do something that 95% of other general contractors do, this is where you should put it. Here's some examples. So I'll let you just kind of, you can go ahead, you could pause the video, you could screenshot this. Here's some examples: real-time project visibility, clean and organized, direct access to Structur, blah, blah, blah. You answer your phone, you over-communicate, you have a repeatable system that gets projects done faster, okay? Smoother, with fewer surprises. People want to hear that. They don't want a bunch of change orders for their project, right? So when they read this section, they want to think this is not the typical contractor experience that I've heard horror stories about, right? And that's exactly what you want them to feel. Then, okay, this is where it all leads. This is like the end game right here. Having a become a client page that starts the right projects and stops the wrong ones, right? This is the page where serious leads raise their hand. Every button on your website should point here, right? Whether they're watching a testimonial, reading about your process, scrolling through your project photos, there should be one clear action. I called it become a client. You could call it contact us, that's boring, but like, you know, start your project, whatever, become a client. You could use that. But it's not just a form. This is the pre-qualification filter. And it should ask the right questions. If you watched my qualification video, if you didn't, go ahead and check that out. But it needs to ask the right questions up front. What's your name, email address, phone number? What kind of project is this? Residential, commercial, industrial? Is this a kitchen renovation, a bathroom renovation? What is it? How many square feet? Do you already have an architect? Do you have drawings? A brief project description, like a little long text block. By the way, you can build this form within Structur and it'll flow right into your leads pipeline. Pretty sweet. What is your budget range? That's a huge one. And when are you looking to start? Because you can judge their timing, right? But again, check out the Structur form and there's, preloaded question, multiple choice question answers that they could just click. And of course you can add your own to that as well. And it'll flow right into your leads form, your leads pipeline. Like I said in my qualification video, your goal is not to fully qualify them. We're just pre-qualifying them because obviously qualification happens on your first call with them. But this gives you the critical info you need to decide whether or not that initial call is worth taking. And if it is, then you send your next steps email with that call book link. If it's not, then you reply with a professional and respectful project decline email. Like, hey, we're a little too busy right now, or whatever you want to say. Maybe be like, hey, can I give you some references? Because you really want to keep your time protected. You want to keep your calendar clean, and you only want to take calls with people who are actually ready to move forward with the kind of projects that you offer, right? So this form does the filtering, the pre-filtering for you. So in conclusion, my friend, your website should position you as the go-to GC, not just any contractor with a bunch of stock photos. Get rid of those stock photos on your website, but you are a proven operator with proof of delivering an epic client experience. It's all about the client experience. Build it right, build your website right, and it won't just make you look credible. It'll flood your calendar with qualified, high intent leads while your competitors are still waiting for callbacks.